Welcome to Story Tales. Please like this video and subscribe to Story Tales. I hope you enjoy the story. Let's begin.
The kiln's heat radiated against Sophia Ward's face as she carefully removed her latest piece, a delicate vase with swirling blues and greens that seemed to dance in the afternoon light. Her studio in downtown Asheville hummed with creative energy, clay dust motes floating through sunbeams that streamed through tall windows. "That's gorgeous," Nara McConnell said from her wheel across the room. "Commission. Wedding gift. For the Millers." Sophia set the vase on the cooling rack. "They're coming to our reception. 2 weeks." Nara's hands stilled on her clay. "You nervous?" Sophia wiped her hands on her apron, considering. More like unsettled. "Alaric's been weird lately." "Weird how?" "Yesterday, he asked why I was wasting time on a wedding gift when I could just buy something." Sophia moved to the sink, scrubbing clay from under her nails. "He called my work cute little projects." Nara's jaw tightened. "He said what?" "And Briar." Sophia paused, remembering last night's dinner. "He made another joke about how I talk. In front of everyone. That piece of garbage." Nara abandoned her wheel entirely. "What did Alaric do?" "Laughed." The word tasted bitter. "Then told me I was being too sensitive." The studio door chimed. Alaric Klein entered, his tailored suit incongruous among the clay-splattered surfaces. His smile was magazine perfect, the kind that had charmed investors and board members across the tech industry. "Ready for lunch, babe?" He glanced around the studio with barely concealed impatience. "We have the caterer meeting at 2. I need to finish." "It can wait." He checked his phone. "This wedding planning is eating up enough time as it is. Once we're married, you can play with clay all you want." Sophia caught Nara's eye. Her friend's expression said everything. "It's not playing," Sophia said quietly. "This is my career." Alaric's laugh was light, dismissive. "Career? Soph, you made $8,000 last year. That's a hobby." "Because I reinvested in equipment, and—" "We can discuss this later." He was already heading for the door. "Briar's joining us for lunch. He has some ideas for the reception." "Of course he does," Nara muttered. Alaric turned. "What was that?" "Nothing." Nara's smile was sharp. "Just saying how lucky Sophia is to have such involved friends." 3 days later, Nara stormed into the studio, her face flushed with anger. Sophia looked up from glazing a bowl. "What's wrong?" "That absolute waste of oxygen." Nara slammed her bag down. "Your future husband's best friend." Sophia's stomach dropped. "What did Briar do?" "I was at Brewery Haunt last night. He was holding court with a bunch of guys doing his comedy." Nara pulled out her phone. "Someone recorded it." She hit play. Briar's nasal voice filled the studio. "So my boy's getting married to this chick who talks like she's got marbles in her mouth. I swear, listening to her order coffee is like watching a stroke victim try to rap." Male laughter erupted from the phone. Then Alaric's voice, clear and amused. "That's why I handle all the talking when we're out." Sophia's hands trembled. The bowl slipped, shattering on the concrete floor. "There's more," Nara said grimly. "They're planning something for the wedding. A roast during the reception." "A what?" "They want to humiliate you, in front of everyone, and record it." Sophia stared at the broken ceramic pieces. Each shard reflected light differently, like the fractured image of the life she'd thought she was building. "How do you know about the wedding plan?" "Briar was bragging about it. Said they've been writing material for weeks." Nara knelt beside her, helping gather the pieces. "Sophia, you need to." "I need proof." Sophia's voice was steady now, cold. "Real proof." That night, while Alaric slept beside her, Sophia remembered the old iCloud account they'd shared when they first started dating. He'd never changed the password typical Alaric, too confident to consider consequences. Her laptop screen glowed in the darkness. She typed the familiar password. Tech King 2018 to the account opened. Voice memos. Dozens of them. She plugged in her earbuds and clicked the first one. Briar's voice. Okay, so for the wedding roast, I'm thinking I start with how she walks. You know that weird thing she does with her hips. Alaric. Like she's constantly constipated. Exactly. And then I'll transition into her art career. The mockery in Briar's voice was venomous. Maybe bring up one of her ugly pots as a prop. Make sure you mention how her lips move when she reads, Alaric added. It's so embarrassing when we're at restaurants. Sophia listened to recording after recording. They'd critiqued her body, her speech patterns from when she was younger, her family's modest background. They'd planned to show photos, including one from college when she'd been heavier. The final recording was from yesterday. Briar, you sure you want to go through with marrying her? Alaric, her dad's connections got me the Whitfield contract. After a year, I'll have established my own network. Then, he laughed. Well, let's just say prenups don't cover emotional distress. You're cold, man. I'm practical. She's a good investment. Boring, grateful, won't cheat. The kind of wife who looks good at company events once I teach her how to dress properly. Sophia closed the laptop. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She sat in the darkness, feeling something inside her crystallize into diamond hard resolve. 2 weeks before the wedding, Sophia sent a group text to all their guests. Change of plans. Please join us for a special rehearsal celebration at Highland Brewing Company. 7 p.m. tonight. Important announcement about the wedding. Sophia, she'd spent days preparing. Every piece of evidence organized. Every word planned. The brewery's event space filled quickly. 200 guests mingled, champagne flowing. Alaric stood near the bar with Briar, both looking confused but playing along. Thank you all for coming, Sophia said into the microphone. The room quieted. I know this is unexpected, but I have something important to share about our upcoming wedding. Alaric smiled, probably thinking she'd planned some sweet surprise. Briar smirked, likely anticipating material for his roast. 2 weeks before marrying someone, you should know them completely. Sophia's voice was clear, strong. So, I want you all to know the man I was about to marry. She pressed play on her phone, connected to the speakers that Briar's voice boomed through the room, like she's got marbles in her mouth. I swear, listening to her order coffee is like watching a stroke victim try to rap. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Alaric's face drained of color. Wait, he started. Sophia raised her hand. The next recording played. Then the next. The room grew more horrified with each one. Someone started recording on their phone. Then another. Soon dozens of cameras were pointed at Alaric and Briar. When the final recording ended, Alaric calling her a good investment, the room was silent. Sophia looked directly at Alaric. His mouth opened and closed like a landed fish. You're not worthy of my silence, she said, each word precise and cutting. And I'm not afraid of the noise. She set down the microphone and walked through the crowd. People parted like water. Behind her, chaos erupted, shouting, accusations, Alaric's desperate attempts at explanation. Nara met her at the door with her coat and a fierce smile. Your car's running. Good. Sophia didn't look back. Let's go. Sophia's laptop screen cast blue light across her face at 3 a.m. The studio apartment above her workshop had become her command center. Empty coffee cups clustered around her workspace, and Nara dozed on the couch. The canceled bride blog header stared back at her. She'd written and deleted the first post 12 times. Finally, she typed, My name is Sophia Ward. 2 weeks ago, I canceled my wedding because I discovered my fiancé and his best friend planned to humiliate me at our reception. They called it a roast. I call it cruelty, dressed up as humor. This is my story. But I know it's not just mine. She hit publish, Within an hour, comments flooded in. Women sharing their stories, men admitting they'd witnessed similar pranks. By morning, local news wanted interviews. "You're trending," Nara announced, holding up her phone. Hashtag canceled bride. Number 3 in North Carolina. Sophia's phone buzzed. Alaric. She declined the call. "He's panicking," Nara said, scrolling through her feed. "Posted some garbage about private matters and misunderstandings. Let him." Sophia opened her email. "I have 17 women wanting to share their stories. Anonymous interviews about wedding, humiliation. You're really doing this?" They thought I'd disappear, quietly, be the embarrassed ex-fiancée who fades away. Sophia's fingers flew across the keyboard. They picked the wrong woman. Over the next week, Sophia built something from her rage. The blog became a platform. She interviewed women who'd been pranked, roasted, humiliated by partners who claimed to love them. Each story was worse than the last. My husband's friends did a slideshow of my worst angles at our rehearsal dinner. He laughed the whole time. The best man gave a speech about how my voice was like nails on chalkboard. My fiancé high-fived him. They created a betting pool on how long until I let myself go after the wedding. Sophia crafted each interview carefully, protecting identities while exposing patterns. The blog grew. Local news became national interest. Her phone rang constantly. She ignored Alaric's calls, but answered the important ones. "Ms. Ward, this is Patricia Wells from the Today Show. We'd like to discuss featuring your story." Alaric tried to control the narrative. He appeared on a local podcast, Tech Talks with Tommy, wearing his best humble expression. "It was meant to be lighthearted," Alaric said, leaning forward earnestly. "Wedding traditions, you know? Guys joking around." Sophia took it out of context. "But you called her an investment," Tommy pointed out. "That was poorly worded. I meant she was an investment in my future happiness." Sophia watched from her laptop, Nara beside her with popcorn. "He's drowning." "Not fast enough." Sophia pulled up her files. Time to throw him an anchor. She posted the screenshots that night. Text messages where Alaric mocked her childhood speech therapy. Emails where he called her art kindergarten crafts. A photo he'd sent Breyer of her sleeping, captioned "mouth breather in action." The post went viral within hours. Alaric's company, Klein Tech Solutions, released a statement by morning. "Mr. Klein has decided to take a leave of absence to focus on personal matters." "That means they're firing him," Nara translated. "Just slowly." More consequences followed. The country club canceled his membership. 3 speaking engagements dropped him. His LinkedIn connections evaporated like morning mist. "You could stop now," Nara suggested one evening. "He's finished." Sophia shook her head. Alaric was just following Breyer's lead. The infection needs to be cut out at the source. She pulled up her research on Breyer Wendell. Failed comedian, part-time marketing consultant, full-time parasite. "I found something," she said. Or rather, someone. Ren Aubrey answered Sophia's call on the second ring. "I've been following your blog," Ren said without preamble. "I wondered when you'd find me." They met at a quiet cafe in West Asheville. Ren was small, sharp-featured, with tired eyes that had seen too much. "Breyer and I dated for 2 years," Ren began. "I was doing stand-up, actually getting somewhere. Then I made the mistake of being funnier than him." "What did he do?" "Edited videos of my sets. Took my worst moments, my practice runs, spliced them to make me look incompetent. Posted them everywhere as comedy fails." Ren's hands clenched around her coffee cup. But that wasn't the worst part. Sophia waited. "He recorded us. Intimate moments. Used my sounds as material for his act. Called it the squeaky toy girlfriend routine. My God. I quit comedy. Moved 3 times. He still found ways to harass me online. Ren met Sophia's eyes. I have recordings. Evidence. I kept everything, hoping someday someone would listen, Sophia finished. Will you? On your platform. We'll do better than that. Sophia leaned forward. We'll create something he can't joke his way out of. They worked for days, crafting a podcast episode that was part interview, part investigation. Ren's story was the centerpiece, but Sophia had found others. Comics who'd been sabotaged, interns who'd been harassed, a pattern spanning years. The vows you'll never hear. A conversation with survivors dropped at midnight on a Tuesday, BY Wednesday. It was #1 on Spotify, BY Thursday. Breyer had locked all his social media, BY Friday. 3 more women had come forward. He's threatening to sue, Nara reported, reading from her phone. Sophia smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Perfect. Discovery will be fascinating. The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old money. Sophia sat across from Harold Martinez, Breyer's former agent, who looked like he'd aged a decade in the past year. I should have spoken up sooner, Harold said, sliding a folder across the mahogany desk. But the comedy world is small. You don't burn bridges. What changed your mind? Your podcast. Hearing Ren's story. Knowing there were others. He opened the folder. I have signed statements from 3 interns. Recordings of Breyer making explicit threats. Evidence of him stealing material from female comics. Sophia reviewed the documents. Each one was damning. Why keep all this? Insurance. Or maybe guilt. Harold rubbed his face. I dropped him as a client, but I never reported it. I was a coward. You're here now. His lawyer filed the defamation suit yesterday. Harold pushed another document forward. This is my sworn affidavit. Use it. Sophia's lawyer, Janet Kim, was waiting outside. She took one look at the documents and smiled like a shark scenting blood. This changes everything, Janet said. We're not playing defense anymore. The countersuit was filed within 48 hours. Defamation, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress. The evidence was overwhelming. He's done, Janet confirmed. And not just civilly. The DA's office is interested. Alaric made one last desperate play. A cease and desist letter arrived at Sophia's studio, demanding she stop spreading malicious content about him. He's actually trying to silence you. Nara laughed. After everything. He's used to winning through intimidation. Sophia set the letter aside. Time to remind him who he's dealing with. She'd already accepted the morning show invitation. Wake Up America had 3 million viewers. The studio lights were bright, but Sophia didn't squint. She sat across from host Rebecca Chen, composed and ready. Your ex-fiancé claims this has gone too far, Rebecca said, that you're conducting a vendetta. He's right. It has gone too far. Sophia looked directly at the camera. It went too far when he spent months planning to humiliate me, when he called me an investment, when he stood by while his friend terrorized women for years. But surely there's room for forgiveness, for moving forward. The only thing I regret is not leaving him the first time he laughed at me instead of with me. Sophia's voice was steel. I'm not interested in forgiveness. I'm interested in consequences. Strong words. Weak people demand strong responses. The interview aired live. Within minutes, #consequences-not-forgiveness was trending. Alaric posted a rambling video response that afternoon, claiming Sophia had ruined his life over jokes. The internet's response was swift and merciless. Memes of his tears became viral. His attempts at explanation became punchlines. Breyer fared worse. The criminal investigation made headlines. Comedy clubs blacklisted him. His name became synonymous with toxic masculinity in the industry. They're both finished, Nara said, scrolling through updates. Completely destroyed. Sophia felt no satisfaction, only resolution. Good. 6 months later, Highland Museum of Art buzzed with opening night energy. Vows to Myself had sold out weeks in advance. Sophia moved through the gallery, watching people absorb her work. Each piece told a story, clay, shaped by fury and transformation. A shattered vase reformed into something stronger. A series of bowls, each one holding recorded testimonies from women who'd shared their stories. The centerpiece was a wedding dress made entirely of ceramic shards, suspended from the ceiling. Beautiful and dangerous, impossible to wear without bleeding. The artist really captures the duality of betrayal, someone murmured. I heard she's starting a non-profit, another responded, supporting women dealing with relationship abuse. Ren appeared at her elbow, smile bright. The podcast studio wants to expand our series. Full season, 20 episodes. That's incredible. We're calling it The Jokes That Weren't Funny, examining how humor is weaponized in relationships. Ren squeezed her arm. Thank you for everything. Across the room, Nara raised a champagne glass in silent toast. Sophia nodded back. A young woman approached hesitantly. Ms. Ward? Aye, your blog saved me. I was about to marry someone who treated me the same way. Your story gave me strength to leave. You saved yourself, Sophia corrected gently. I just made noise. As the evening progressed, more people shared similar stories. The blog had become a movement. The podcast had sparked conversations. The art exhibition was just the beginning. Near the end of the night, a reporter cornered her near the wedding dress sculpture. Do you ever think about forgiveness? He asked, moving past the anger. Sophia studied the ceramic shards, each one catching light differently. Forgiveness is a gift. I don't give gifts to people who tried to make me a joke. That seems harsh. No, harsh was planning to humiliate someone you claim to love. Harsh was standing by while your friend destroyed careers. She met his eyes. I'm not harsh. I'm appropriate. The reporter left, unsatisfied. Sophia didn't care as the gallery emptied. She stood before her favorite piece, a simple bowl, perfectly formed, filled with audio recordings of women saying no more. Nara joined her. You did it. We did it. What's next? Sophia smiled, real and warm for the first time in months. Whatever I want. That's the point of writing your own vows. Outside, Asheville glittered with possibility. Somewhere in the city, Alaric was learning to live with consequences. Briar was facing justice. And Sophia Ward was finally, completely, unapologetically free. She'd kept her promise. No forgiveness, no retreat, no silence. Just the clear, strong voice of a woman who refused to be anyone's joke.